All right, everybody. I think it's time I finally, give my thoughts about Zestarine. I told y'all I would get him. I would see if he was as bad as I expected him to be. And I think it's important, if you're gonna, insult a character, or at least say you don't like a character, to at least try them out. See if they're gonna be remotely good. Just to show you the investment I have on him, I have him at 80. He has an 80 light cone. This is his best in slot outside of his S1. So I guess like second best option. I mean, I have him at 888 with everything else filled. I'm doing a two-piece set. I don't have good enough gear yet to take him off of this, but he's still over 4K defense. He's got 135 speed, so he can go twice, right? His crit ratios aren't the best, but I have tried him out running the four piece of this set, the Pioneers, Diver of Deadwater, trying to do like DPS Zestarine. And I basically just found that he doesn't do enough damage for me to care how much damage he does, even when he's on a full damage set. And even when I've used other people's and he's using this light cone, I still feel like he doesn't do enough damage to warrant, splurging and getting the light cone. So because of that, I'm like, okay, well, he barely does any damage. He basically feels like he does the same damage as my Japard and my what's her name? Bushwan, which is fine. I mean, he is a preservation. So because of that, I'm like, okay, if he barely does any damage and he is supposed to be a preservation unit, then that's fine. The things I've liked about him is that he gives me a full shield at the start of combat, right? So I never really have to worry about my team taking damage, but I also never really worried about my team taking damage before anyway because my teams just don't seem to really take damage. And I'm gonna show you guys like an example of this, but like if I'm doing my like normal farm, um, okay, I'll show you an example of this first. I have other farm I need to do, but if I'm doing my normal, my normal farm, go to your domain, yada yada. This is not the optimal team, but this team's just pretty fun to use. So I'm like, sweet, we're gonna hop in here, we're gonna, clap these guys, and let's see what Zestarine actually does for my team here. Okay, he broke someone, which gave me the Acheron ult. Okay. Realistically, anyone can do that though. It's not unique to him at all. And okay, he did another basic attack, he generated a skill point. Big W. Relatable. Buff him up. Okay, he stopped some damage from being taken. Shield already broke. That's actually crazy. Um, that's just the base shield though, so it's whatever. Okay, he did 1,300 damage. Another 16,000 damage or so. 28. I mean, so he basically does microscopic basic attack levels of damage. And then now the boss is dead. So, with that, I'm like, did he really do anything for me? I mean, I feel like Huohua just low-key does, a little bit more. Um, and that's kind of, a harsh thing to say, but I don't know. Maybe the problem is that at this stage in the game, guys, preservation is just that. Like, if you don't really need preservation, then he's not that impressive. I think a lot of people were glazing him and hyping him up to be this unit that could, literally fix our the little hole that we have right now. And I think that hole is kind of already filled by Blade, where Blade is like a DPS, sub DPS that also tanks. Clara's in that boat as well, except we kind of thought Aventurine was going to be like the team protecting tank that also sub DPS'd. And I think unless you're rocking a, like a Topaz, he probably isn't going to fulfill that role, good enough, which it is what it is. I think a new player probably benefits a lot more from Aventurine than an established player. But there is a notable exception. I do plan on getting Topaz, and I think Aventurine is going to be really, really great with Topaz and Dr. Ratio, of course. That's who he's made for. So it makes sense that he's super good with them. But I'm just looking at like all the previous units, and they just really seem to work. They're just more exciting, I guess, is the big issue. I mean, you'll see in this fight, like Zestarine's probably going to keep the team alive pretty easily. He's doing, as you can see, just very mediocre damage. But I mean, everyone looks kind of mediocre after we have Acheron and Jingliu. Even like my Doctor Ratio feels mediocre, even though my Doctor Ratio is like actually pretty good. He just feels mediocre because I have these other great units. I don't want to just completely dunk on Aventurine. I do like his ult actually quite a bit. I feel like you get it up pretty frequently without even having a an ER rope on him. He just seems to get that quite a bit. I don't really feel like though that his debuff, debuffs enough to make it seem like it's really changing much. Like I don't necessarily feel like I need to use it before I do a nuke because it doesn't seem to really give me that much of a nuclear buff. Hands down though, the best thing about this character is that every time he does a follow-up attack, he reshields. I think the free reshield on him is about the same level as good as the free heal you get off Hwohwa. I think that's kind of underrated, and I haven't heard too many people talk about. But his free shield is actually pretty great. Him doing what he's intended to do, being shielding, is the best thing he does. He does keep my team alive, and I think that's very important. And he did make the new MOC a lot easier than I think it really needed to be. I can kind of show you what I mean. He very much was an answer to MOC if you didn't have Japard, and if you did have Japard, you didn't have the issue. And if you're zero cycling, obviously this has nothing to do with it. But let me show you guys what I'm talking about here. In MOC 12, he's good against really both sides. Is it not this one? Is it MOC 11? Was it last week's MOC? This. Okay, on MOC 10, he is so helpful against Sam. Like, I actually like him quite a bit against Sam. He makes Sam a lot easier than he would normally be. And he also is really good against, where is it? One of these dudes, the big buff gorilla monkey, that one reflects, you can reflect his damage back. Oh, these guys. These Dream Jolt Troop Sweet Gorillas. Um, he makes these way easier to fight against because he gives you the shields you need to counteract them. So they are clearly trying to make ways for him to be a little bit better. But I don't know. I feel like if you have a bunch of characters already, you don't really need this guy. And I think the sad part is we're a year into the game, and the same thing happened with Genshin. It's hard for them to make more exciting characters. I'm gonna be real. The next couple characters I don't really care at all about. I think Robin has the potential to be, just really, really good in meta, but I don't know that she is good enough to replace our premium Harmony S plus tiers in Ruan-Mei and Sparkle. Like she's gonna have to be exceptionally, exceptionally good if she's gonna replace these two. Now it would be nice to have, triple S tier 5-star harmonies on both sides. So maybe that's where she like kind of comes into play. I could see her and Sparkle being a really good combo, and then you would have Ruan Mei with I don't know, someone else like Tingyun or something or Pella. I think that would be kind of sweet because Ruan Mei and Pella do work pretty well together for the Jingliu team. But I don't know. Boot Hill too. Boot Hill looks freaking stupid. I don't. I mean, he seems unique, but he just like why? I don't know. Yeah. I'm not super excited really about anything on the way for the game, and I think that's kind of sad because this is my favorite game. But I think it's good timing because Wuthering Waves is coming, and I think I'm gonna need to start making some Wuthering Waves videos because that's gonna be, the future. But let me know what you guys want. I am gonna be continuing the Salesman series on new characters, so once Aventurine is Gonzo and Bootil, I think is the next one, is on the way. We will make a Salesman Celsia Bootil video, and we will hopefully those will do pretty well. I've been very much appreciating all the support you guys have been giving me. the shorts have been popping off specifically on YouTube. The TikTok ones haven't been doing as well. And usually it's the other way around. Usually my TikToks get way more views than the YouTube shorts. But it's been doing great on YouTube so far, and even my like long form content videos like this have been doing better than I expected. So I appreciate all you guys, watching and wanting to hear what I have to say about things and enjoy my little comedy videos when I do make those. But yeah, let me know, and I will always be here again. It's Gurkensteel, and hope you guys have a great day.